I see you more than you might realize. I see through the person that you think you are. I know it sounds weird for me to say it like this, but there's something to you that is beyond, underneath, between everything that you present yourself to be to this world, as in the person that you act like and the person that you think you are. There's something else to you, and it's extraordinarily special. And I honestly don't feel it as active, as awake, as ready in you as it is in you. I just don't feel it from other people. And it's why, honestly, I keep showing up and being here with you. Because the way that I feel about this connection and what's happening here between us, it's not that I want something out of it. It's not that, you make me feel a certain way, or it makes me feel a certain way to be able to do this here with you. It's not about any of those normal human ideas or things that people normally think socially is what relationships or conversations or communication is. But I'm talking around it a lot right now because I'm trying to make sure that I'm understood. But I want to pierce through that, trying to be understood, because that's where normal conversation operates for most communication in the collective, in relationships with people, in the world around us. Most of the way we communicate is we're trying to be understood. But I want you to know something, and I want you to hear it as piercingly true as it really is, because this isn't an idea, it's what's real. And I know that some part of you understands this. I know that you do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here talking to you, certainly as much as I am, right? I mean, I'm showing up here regularly to speak with you over and over and over again because I sense it in you. Communication takes on a whole new dimension of power when you stop communicating, not just with each other, but with reality. Not from a position of, I want you to understand me and I want you to hear me, but when you speak from a place that is really more of a vibrational space of, I don't need to be understood. I don't need you to understand me. I don't need you to be anything other than what you are. I'm not here speaking to you because I want something from you. I'm not here speaking to you because I think you need me. And I'm not here speaking to you because of some sort of identity glue that I believe that this is who we are and this is our dynamic, that I speak to you right now in this way like I am. And so I'm just basically glued to it. I'm addicted to it, that I just keep showing up for comfort over and over again because it's who I think I am. It's who I think we are. There's a communication beneath all of it, and it is what is real. And it is so real that when you touch it, and it is the essence of, I am who I am. And that's just the way it is. I'm here talking to you because I am. And yes, there is a subtle thread of, I know that you are actually one of the few that are ready to hear me. And I say this not egoically. I say this not as in I think I'm so awesome. I say this because I see how incredibly awesome you are. And you might not fully realize it yet, but you are literally, this is not figurative, this is actual, sitting on a threshold right now, on the verge of, I don't even want to call it a breakthrough, because then your mind is just going to start thinking that like, oh, there's something like so amazing for me, and it's like right here and it's coming. And yeah, I get it. That's the kind of conversations most people want to have. That's the kind of videos most people want to click. You want to hear, oh, everything's all peaches and cream and sunshine and rainbows, and guess what? Here's all these blessings coming into your life right now. And I'm not saying that's not the case. It absolutely is. But you want to know what most people don't talk about? They want to tell you about the blessings that are coming to you. They want to tell you about the extraordinary things that happen when you shift your vibration or align with your authentic frequency, right? This is what I've been talking about here in these videos lately. This is what I've been talking to you about lately. It's the only thing I can speak about because it is so real. And it makes everything else pale in comparison, in my opinion. Because it's the source of all of it. It's the thing that changes everything. And it's not just you're blessed, and when you raise your vibration, everything gets better in your life, and here's all these great things on their way to you, and here's a channeled message from your higher self telling you more money's on the way. Look, all these things, they're fine. But you want to know what you really need to hear right now? What's true. And it's not just that when you shift your vibration, everything gets better. It's that the process that takes place when that vibration shifts, when you make a new agreement within yourself and you say something along the lines of, I'm ready to awaken to who I really am, and I'm not going to choose fear anymore. Okay, this is a new agreement you make with yourself versus perhaps a previous agreement that says, I'm going to be a little bit of me in each moment, but I'm also going to make sure to fit in such a way that my family and my friends and society and the world around me can understand me, and I'll be digestible in this sense, and I'll be received, and my community will accept me. Right? I've got to fit in. Right? I've got to match this aspect of human nature. And I get it. And I understand that that thread pulls on you sometimes. And I don't judge you for it, because it happened to me for my entire life. But when you make this new agreement with yourself, and I know that you have made it, otherwise, I'm telling you, this isn't just an idea. It's not just something that sounds cool to say in YouTube videos. It's not just something that sounds cool to say in conversations. You literally could not be perceiving this conversation happening right now. You could not be hearing or receiving the transmission behind the words, the vibrational essence behind all of the things that I'm saying, if you were not calling it forth. You see, because you, who you really are, knows that you are at a threshold in your life right now. And who you really are is able to tap into dimensional reference frames that go far beyond what the normal human mind is able to conceive and perceive of. You found me as this version of source consciousness expressing itself. I am Nathan. I am this guy making this video, having this conversation with you. You found me because who you really are is boundless. Boundless, absolutely. And you knew that I was going to give it to you straight right now in this conversation. You knew I was going to tell you like it was. You knew that I was going to reflect to you the kind of truth that doesn't sell the most. It doesn't get the most clicks. It's not the most likable. But you knew, you sensed in the field. You tapped the frequency, the bell rang out, and brought this conversation to you right now in your reality for a reason. This threshold you're at, there are many blessings. There are. And it's extraordinary. But there's something very real that has to happen, and it's called the process. The process. You have to face the fact that when you choose to align with who you really are, whatever that means for you, in your path, in your journey, you have to face the fact that many things in your life will no longer resonate, and that it's fucking terrifying to watch people that you may have known your entire life suddenly like oil and vinegar. It's terrifying to have to watch sometimes your mind frantically pacing about, how do I hold on to the things that I like and love, the things that give me comfort, the things that I identify so strongly with? Because now that your frequency is shifted, here's the truth, okay? Pretty much everything in your life that you knew before your frequency shifted, it no longer resonates in the way that it once did. It doesn't mean that all of it is leaving, but what it does mean is that all of it is changing in terms of your relationship to it. You have to face the fearful nature within yourself to cling, to try to understand, to try to make things be the way that you want them to be. You're going to have to face all of that. You're going to have to watch past versions of yourself kicking and screaming and panicking from within you, begging, please let me take the wheel of your life again. What's going to happen to your job if you don't let me take over? What's going to happen to your relationship? What's going to happen to the way your community sees you? And what's going to happen to the way you feel about yourself, especially when your idea of yourself clearly doesn't fit you anymore, does it? And I know that you smell it in the air. I know you taste it. I know you hear it. I know that when the wind blows and it brushes your hair against your face, you feel it. Something has changed. And maybe you can't quite fully put your finger on it, or maybe it is blatantly obvious to you. Either way, you have to face the process. And I just want you to know something that might sound weird, but I do love you. So much more than you even yet realize. And I love you so deeply beyond how normal, societal, conditioned love expresses itself, that I am unwilling to not speak the truth to you. Because conditioned love says, make me feel good. But the unconditional love that spills out from within me for you in such an extraordinary way, I know that some part of you feels it, and I know that you will taste it fully, as I am now in my life, as you choose to face the process of transformation you're in. Because remember, it's not just blessings on their way to you, peaches and rainbows. There's a truth to it. You got to face some very challenging, scary things when you start to transform. But you see, I love you so deeply that I'm unwilling to tell you things that you want to hear just because it makes you feel good. There are a lot of things in your life right now, and they do not resonate with who you really are. And you know it. I know that you do. And I appreciate that you're scared to let them go because you don't know what's on the other side of it. Who's on the other side? And who am I on the other side of it? And what does life look like? And what does the air smell like? And what does food taste like on the other side? What is it like? I don't know, is what some part of you needs to admit to itself. You don't know. And I just wanted to tell you as clearly as I possibly can, and I'm trying to do the best job I can, but I just got to be who I am. I'm not always the best communicator. I'm not. But when I communicate the most clearly is actually when I'm not trying to, but I'm just being who I am. And that's a gift that I want you to see in this lifetime, because you don't need to be like most other people. No judgment to them, but most other people, it's going to take them hundreds of more lifetimes to taste the dimensions of consciousness and the vibrational fullness of what you and I are in alignment with in this lifetime. It's just the way it is. It's not judgment, it's just true. It's different resonance. There is such an extraordinary depth of beauty waiting for you to see it. And I can see that it's knocking on your door. And it's why I'm here talking to you, because you want to open the door and let it in. I know that who you really are does. I see you. I see through all of the clouds that sometimes swirl around in your field. And I'm telling you, that part of you that's afraid to let go of the things that you know aren't actually in resonance with who you are, I know you're scared of who you'll be on the other side of it and what life will look like and who will be there. But here's the fact. The fact. What is on the other side is what is actually aligned and resonant of you. The job, the abundance, the relationships, your own personal health, your level of peace, joy, the dimensions of enlightenment in which you are personally interested in swimming into in this lifetime. It's all waiting for you. And I'm telling you because I love you so much, and because I spent years standing on this edge, and I can see that you are on this edge right now in your life. I can see it. And I'm not afraid to call it out. You are standing on the same edge that I stood on for years. Do I jump fully into the unknown and allow the universe's mechanism of true resonance and alignment to unfold? Or do I continue clinging to the things that make me feel safe and slowly release them over years and years and years? You've got an interesting trajectory right now, because how I see it, within literally the next 24 hours, you could fully jump into truth, or you could spend the next 30 years of your life slowly digesting it, and you'll find yourself standing in the consciousness that I am speaking to you from right now, and you will say the same thing that I said to myself just a few weeks ago when I really saw and realized what I have now. Holy shit, why did I wait? Why did I wait? Don't wait. Jump. I'm telling you. What is on the other side is who you really are. And it is so much better than anything that you could come up with in your own mind or your own ego of what you want your life to look like or how you think it should be. So just let go. And here's the truth that I want to leave you with. If you take this jump, I promise you something. It's not going to be easy. It won't be. But it will be the most magnificent challenge you've ever faced in your entire life. Beyond all the things that you identify with and say, wow, I was really shaped and formed in that fire. Oh no, this is something that your soul is going to feel something so beyond the word ecstasy about being able to go through. We are talking about a transformational fire that is so intense to walk through that you will remember it for the rest of eternity. Every lifetime from this point on, you will have the activation of what it is that I'm talking about, and I can't tell you about it. I can only transmit the frequency to you in this conversation and let you feel it and let you make the choice for yourself. You have the opportunity to step into something in this lifetime that will sit with your eternal, indestructible, multidimensional soul for an eternity. But it's not going to be easy. The second you make the choice to jump into the truth of who you are, you will have to face many things changing. And you will have to stand in absolute, unwavering presence as all of the past versions of you and fears and limiting beliefs and programs start kicking and screaming, trying to take over. And if you're anything like me, I'm just going to be totally honest with you, you might let them take over. You might just let your fear jump in and steer you back. And you might do that for years. That's what I did. But I'm living in a place now, and I'm speaking to you authentically from it. Not to prove anything, not because I need everybody out there on the internet to think of me as some kind of master. I assure you I'm not. Who am I? I'm a guy that has finally figured out how to be who I am. It's just that simple. And I'm telling you, that choice you make for yourself changes everything, and you'll never forget it. But the choice is yours, and I'm not going to push you over the edge. Nobody can. Nobody could. No matter how powerful they are, they can't push you. Only you can take this step. And it's really simple, actually. You just step forward. That's it. You just step forward. And that might sound like, this is so stupid. How is that the climax of this conversation? But you got to understand, look around you. Most people spend 50, 60, 70 years not stepping forward. They find some sort of identity or structure that makes them feel safe, and they cling to it for dear life. And they sit there for the rest of it. I'm asking you not to stay safe in the identity you know. I'm asking you to step forward into the unknown, into the terrifying, into the abyss that you can't see into right now. I'm asking you to walk a pathless path. I'm asking you to walk across a fire that will absolutely scold and burn away everything that you are not. Is it terrifying? Oh yeah. But holy shit, is it the best thing I've personally ever experienced in my entire life. And I must tell you something. As of a few weeks ago, my life finally has begun. I wasn't really living it until now. And it's awesome. And I'm finally being who I am with such unwavering presence. And it is so satisfying. And I need nothing else. It's all I am. And it's all I was ever looking for. And you have access to it too, if you just step forwards. That's it. And I want to tell you something. I think it's pretty obvious to you that this is the kind of conversation that a lot of people aren't going to understand. It's not going to make sense, right? What is this language? What is this energy? What is this? You get that. This is not a conversation that I could have with your parents or some of your friends and they'd be like, this guy makes sense. No, you get it. This was a conversation meant purely for you, but you hear me because something is awake in you and it's listening and it's ready to step through. And if you feel that resonance, if you didn't just hear this conversation, but you actually felt it in your bones, I deeply encourage you from a place of authentic resonance to join me on June 8th in an incredible portal of presence that transforms everything. It is a small, intimate group of people like you and me who are ready to fully step into who we are. So I tell you this, June 8th, the link is tagged in this description. I believe at the time of making this video, there is still just a few more seats available. And I tell you this honestly, come as you are to this event and leave as who you have always been. Period. That's the mic drop moment. If you feel the resonance, check that out in the description. And if you want to walk closer together in this journey, even deeper than that, I've created a special space beyond YouTube with exclusive content, transmissions, channelings, live streams every single month, a private Telegram group where we speak to each other regularly. It's Patreon, and that is also tagged in the description of this video. But before I fully push the stop record button on what was never a camera, but an altar, a portal, reaching out between the veil for us to communicate, how extraordinary is that? I want to remind you that you have everything that you need within you. You always have. There is nothing outside of you that once you finally get it, will give you the ability to step forward in your life. I want you to understand, once you get that job, once you get that relationship, once you finally get that body at the gym, once you finally have this happen, once the weather's this way, once it's finally this season, once I live in that nice house, it's all illusion. You don't need any of that. You already have what you are looking for within yourself. And it's the ability to make a decision right now, today, in your life to step through and step forward into who you have always been, but just haven't fully remembered yet. But I know you will. Thanks. Much love. Don't forget to check out those links in this video's description. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. See you there.